everybody, and welcome to this 2025 Don Johnson Memorial Cup game from the preliminary round. It's our last game from the preliminary round tonight. My name is Janie Maillet, and I'll be the one accompanying you through this game. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to spend a great time together tonight. So these two teams right now, the Bulldogs and the Coyotes, very good matchup we've had here. And this game could possibly decide, well, it will actually decide the standings for the semifinals, which will happen tomorrow. So early on, Bulldogs taking a good shot on Alexis Leblanc, the Coyotes goaltender, but Leblanc still solid in his net, no problem for him there. Speaking of goaltenders, maybe we could talk a little bit about them. So for the Coyotes now in net is, like I said, number 31, Alexis Leblanc. And for the Bulldogs, we have number 31, Ryan McDonald in net. Seems we'll have a battle of the 31s tonight, as Leblanc makes another save on the Bulldogs. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Julien Leblanc behind his own net. Leblanc. A long pass now for Brody Bro. It's going to just skate by his stick as he manages to touch it a little bit to avoid the icing call there. But the Bulldogs managed to get a hold of it rather quickly. Julien Leblanc, however, very solid defenseman for the Coyotes. Hands it over to Brody Bro, who dumps it in. Doesn't go in very deep, however, as the Bulldogs come rushing back to the offensive zone. Alexis Leblanc hands that over to his defenseman, Julien Leblanc. A few quick changes in possession there, but it seems as though the Coyotes now control the play. Jonathan Cormier with the pass for Olivier O'Brien. O'Brien trying to get around the tenacious forward, Tully Grant there. O'Brien in the corner, battling for the puck. Coyotes will come out victorious from that little battle there. Nicolas Bouc with a shot, but it's going to go wide, as Jonathan Cormier tries to take a shot of his own. Two good looks there for the Coyotes. Puck comes back to Jonathan Cormier, who hands it over to Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin with a centering pass there for Nicolas Bouc, but he just fans on that one-timer opportunity there, as Olivier O'Brien back in his own zone gets a hold of the puck. Coyotes still in possession. Olivier Bro with a pass to Damien Poirier. Poirier back to Bro. Bro with a very nice pass there for Jackson McClure, who just fanned on it as well. Bulldogs trying to exit their zone, but the Coyotes are relentless right now. Alex Duguay now, pass for Alexis Maillet. Tries to connect with Jackson McClure, but a nice pass interception there by Cohen Pictou, who had a lot of pass interceptions, might I add, during the Bulldogs' earlier game at noon today, which they won against the Kensington Vipers. Mathieu Poirier now cutting through the Bulldogs' defense. Puck will come back to the neutral zone for Julien Leblanc. Leblanc with a nice centering pass from Mathieu Poirier. Beautiful opportunity there. If only we could have gotten the rebound on that one. Mathieu Poirier, that was beautiful. As Simon Gallon now another centering pass, but this one will be intercepted by the Bulldogs, as Will McKinnon hands it over to his teammate, but it will be picked up by Simon Gallon, who then dumps it in. Mathieu Poirier battling for the puck, sending it over to Gabriel Poirier. Poirier who takes a shot, but it'll bounce off his stick and stay in the corner. Poirier rimming it to the other side of the offensive zone for Mathieu Poirier. Now a slap shot from the point there by Julien Leblanc. Tristan McGraw with a centering pass, but it's caught once again by the Bulldogs. Now Brody Bro with his shot, and now Tristan McGraw. the second or third shot that goes in for the Coyotes. Christian McGraw, number 3. I believe this might be his first goal with the Coyotes. So you see him pick up and right over the glove of the goaltender, Ryan McDonald. So beautiful shot there by Christian McGraw. And he joined the team very late on in the year. So I'm pretty sure this might be his first goal as a Coyote. That's pretty special, huh? At the Atlantic Championship. Now Mikael Landry with a shot as he battles in the corner for possession with the help of his teammates. Bulldogs, though, not giving up as the Bulldogs will dig it free. But Mikael Landry managing to get a hand on that and take a shot, and then that was Xander Best right there with a shot of his own you just saw. As the Coyotes dominating offensive zone time early on in this game. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Alexis Maillet shot from the point there, but it'll be blocked. As the Coyotes, some nice passing games there. Now Brody McPherson with the long pass for Tully Grant. Grant trying to go around Alexis Maillet, but he can't fool the solid Coyotes defenseman. Xander Best now in possession for the Coyotes. Will leave the puck behind the net for Alex Duguay, who then tries to connect with Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin sends a long pass over to Xander Best, but Cohen Pictou will get there first for the Bulldogs. However, his pass intercepted by Nicolas Bourque, who takes a shot. Julien Leblanc now for the Coyotes. Sends it over to Connor Green. Green will slap shot that into the offensive zone. As the Bulldogs now trying to get some offense going. Pass for Jake Prince. Prince who sends it up center ice. But it'll come right back down into the Coyotes' offensive zone. Now Connor Green with a shot from the point there, but it missed the net. As Jake Prince will hand that puck over to his defensive partner. Then the Bulldogs trying to clear once again, but puck coming back into their territory once more. Now that finally works. Shot now by Max Baldwin. As the Coyotes try to counterattack. Olivier O'Brien dumps it in. Bulldogs will get to it first. As an attempt to clear the puck will go up and over the glass and out of play. Face-off won by the Bulldogs. Puck in the corner, but it gets dug out pretty fast. Will Nomodu with a long pass for his teammate. However, Jonathan Cormier will get to it first as he hands it over to Olivier O'Brien, who goes to Gabriel Poirier. Poirier to Cormier. Cormier leaves it at the point for Simon Galland, who takes a big shot, but it'll bounce off a stick and head way out of play. Up and over the glass again. So as I was saying earlier, this game will decide who finishes number 1 in the standings for the semifinals, and I'll explain it a little bit more later when we have a few seconds, which might be now. No, it seems as though they'll get the face-off going pretty fast, so I'll explain it to you guys next stoppage of play how this is all going to work out. So now the puck will come back into the neutral zone, but the play will be blown down pretty fast as a hand play was called on the hand pass, sorry, was called on the play. This has been a long day. I'm getting my words mixed up a little bit. Face off won by the Bulldogs, who control the puck. Jack McDonald there will dump in the puck. His shot now by number 23, Logan McGrath. But once again, it's no problem for Alexis Leblanc, the Coyotes goaltender. Leblanc, who made a surprise appearance in last night's Coyotes game after the other goaltender got hurt in the middle of the game. And yeah, Alexis Leblanc came in there with literally 5 seconds of warm-up. So you know this guy is always ready to go. Either way, back to the action. Coyotes trying to exit their zone, but the Bulldogs unrelenting, putting pressure on them. Alex Duguay now managing to send it over to Christian McGrath. McGrath with a long pass for Brody Brew, who goes on a one-on-one. Brew takes a shot, no problem there for Ryan McDonald. Now the Bulldogs will try to have some fun of their own in the offensive zone. Cohen Pictou, who had a great first game, takes a shot. Brody McPherson there looking for the rebound, but gets beat to it. As the puck now comes back to McPherson, but Julien Leblanc with an active stick there gets in his way. Connor Green now deep in his own zone, sends it over to Julien Leblanc. Leblanc tries to shovel it over to Maxime Beaucoin, who sends it over to Nicolas Boak. Boak with a lot of speed takes a shot, but it'll bounce off his stick and bounce out of play once more. So, like I was saying earlier about the standings, so right now it's been pretty much confirmed that the Southeast Knights will take the 4th spot. However, we might have ourselves a 3-way tie situation if the Bulldogs win tonight. It will be a 3-way tie between the Bulldogs, the Coyotes, and the Capstone Colts for who gets the number 1 spot. So that would be a very interesting game situation. But if the Coyotes win tonight, they are guaranteed number 1 spot. So that would mean we'd have a Battle of New Brunswick and a Battle of Nova Scotia in the semifinals. Now it seems as though we'll get to see our first power play of the game. The Bulldogs will be sent to the box. Number 22, Owen Chisholm, will be spending a couple minutes in the box of shame. That's what I like to call it. After slap shot, of course. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Julien Leblanc handing it over to Jonathan Cormier. Cormier sending it down low for Xander Best. Best fighting for it, and it seems as though he'll be victorious in this instance. As Xander Best catches the puck once more, leaves it for Jonathan Cormier. Cormier to Julien Leblanc, who takes a huge shot. Ryan McDonald managing to get in front of that, as Jonathan Cormier will catch the rebound all the way in his own zone. Cormier skating it up the ice and into the offensive zone. Tries to go around the defenders. No success there as the Bulldogs clear the puck. 1 minute and 15 seconds left in this Coyotes power play. But here come the Bulldogs managing to clear the puck once more. Olivier O'Brien behind his own net, skating up the ice in possession before leaving it back for Alexis Maillet. Maillet will break into the zone before sending it over to Olivier O'Brien for Gabriel Poirier, fresh off the bench. But now on a little bit of a broken play there. The Bulldogs managed to clear the puck once more. 35 seconds left in this power play for the Coyotes. Olivier Breau now with the puck. Breau sends it over to the blue line. Now Alexis Maillet receiving a pass. Goes back to O'Brien. O'Brien with a shot. With a lot of traffic in front of his net, Ryan McDonald able to find the puck through all of that. Some good looks there on the power play for the Bulldogs. I think I just had a brain fart there for a second. But I'm back, I promise. As now Gabriel Poirier has a good look of his own in front of the crease. Now the Bulldogs will clear the puck once more. Olivier Brou going all the way down the ice. But now Alexis Leblanc sending it over to Gabriel Poirier, who was patiently waiting by the blue line. Poirier will leave it for Olivier Brou, his teammate. Brou turning into the corner before sending it over to his defenseman, Jonathan Cormier, who will reach Christian Megras down low. Megras to Poirier. He takes a shot from his knees. But Brian McDonald still able to find the puck through all the chaos. Face-off won by the Bulldogs this time. Cohen pick 2 tries to clear it, but the Coyotes managed to get a hold of it. Centering pass there, but nobody home. As the puck will bounce over to Cohen pick 2. Pick 2 leaving it for one of his forwards, but it gets picked off by Michael Landry. Landry trying to break into the defensive system of the Bulldogs, but they stop him pretty squarely. As now the Bulldogs trying to counterattack. Big hit there. Julien Leblanc now sending it over to Brody Brou. Back to Leblanc. Julien Leblanc leaving it for Brody Brou, as Leblanc lost his balance there for a second. Now the Bulldogs back in possession. Going up the ice as they will clear it successfully. We had Owen Fleming there keeping it alive at the point. Puck will come back to Fleming in the neutral zone as he hands it over to Tully Grant. Grant leaves it for Brody McPherson. McPherson tries to take a shot, but will be intercepted by Maxime Bourgoin. Coyotes back in possession. Xander Best now crossing the blue line. Tries to weave in. But now we have the Bulldogs. Owen Chisholm counterattacking. Chisholm gets taken down there. Now Jackson McClure leaving the puck for Nicolas Beau, who takes the shot. But another nice stop there by Ryan McDonald. Let's have another look at that. Yeah, there we go. Chisholm there, trying to cut on the inside and gets taken down by Alexis Maillet. He's probably the last guy on this Coyotes team I'd ever want to take a hit from. Alexis Maillet is, first of all, he's a huge player. He's a very big guy, and he hits hard. Now, speaking of the Coyotes, presently trying to create something in the offensive zone, but the Bulldogs now still trying to find their first goal of the game, heading up the ice. Jonathan Cormier, however, hands it over to his defensive partner, who then tries to reach Jackson McClure. Pass just out of reach for him, as the puck comes back to Cormier down low in the zone. Cormier for Olivier O'Brien, for Damien Poirier, who reaches Simon Galland. Galland for Mathieu Poirier. Poirier going to chase the puck behind the net. Poirier is still on it for the Coyotes. He hands it over to Julien Leblanc. Leblanc with a shot, but it's blocked as the puck goes high up in the air. But Julien Leblanc manages to find it for the Coyotes. Leblanc trying to dance through the Bulldogs defense once more, but they've been very solid so far. And now Julien Leblanc gets another look at it, but whistles it wide of the net. Connor Green keeping it alive at the blue line, sending it down low for Mathieu Poirier, who goes bad forward in the corner. And now it seems as though we'll see our first Bulldogs power play of the night. As the officials are escorting Mathieu Poirier of the Coyotes to the penalty box, the box of shame. boarding penalty, I believe. So yeah, now we'll get to see the Bulldogs power play. It's been very active this morning. They got a lot of power play opportunities against the Kensington Vipers this morning. Power play has been very active and very productive as well, I might add. So we'll see if they can capitalize on this opportunity today and tie up the game. Some nice work down low there by number 23, Logan McGrath, to maintain possession as he gets taken down by Alexis Maillet. And now the Coyotes will clear the puck. 30 seconds already gone in this Bulldogs power play, as they try to get organized. Puck will be picked up by Will McKinnon. McKinnon, very fast player, as you can see. Goes around, leaves it at the point for his defenseman. But that defenseman, Owen Chisholm, will bobble the puck. Sends it over to Tully Grant, who tries to leave it for Owen Forsyth, but it'll be picked up by the Coyotes and sent down the ice. As the Bulldogs will try again to set up their power play. A nice pass for Wilnov Modu, but he falls to the ground. 35 seconds left in this Bulldogs power play. Long pass there for Cohen Pictou. Pictou by the blue line, sends it over to his defenseman, Owen Fleming. Fleming leaves it for Jake Prince. Back to Fleming for Prince. Prince sends it down low to Wilnov Modu. Back to Prince. To Fleming. Fleming with a shot, but it'll whistle wide in the net as we have a bit of a collision there by the post, causing the net to go off its hinges. If you've been to any other games where I've been calling, you've heard me talk about the moving nets a lot by now. The nets here just can't seem to stay on their hinges. They're always going everywhere. It doesn't take much to move them. So it gets frustrating sometimes for the teams who might be getting in their groove on a power play or something like that. As speaking of the power play, we're now back at even strength, as Alexis Leblanc makes a nice save there for the Coyotes. But as I was saying, it can get kind of frustrating sometimes for teams who have possession and then the net will just come off easily. Face-off won by the Bulldogs. He's sending it down deep, but Olivier O'Brien will get there first and reaches forward. But pass interception, and we're back deep into the Coyotes territory, as Jonathan Cormier will send it over to Tristan McGraw. Long pass for Michael Landry there, who almost went on a breakaway. Landry sending it back to the point to Olivier O'Brien, who takes a shot, but it'll deflect off somebody's leg. Bulldogs trying to get it out. Long pass now for Max Baldwin, but it'll be an icing call against the Bulldogs. Face-off won by the Coyotes this time, but the Bulldogs managed to get a hold of it relatively quickly in their own zone. But here comes Olivier Breau, who hands it over to Damien Poirier. Bulldogs try to exit their zone one more time, successfully this time around, but Connor Green picks up the puck and heads into the offensive zone. Green takes the shot, but goes just wide of the net. As now Olivier Breau tries to dangle around the defense. And now a point shot from Julien Leblanc this time. Ryan McDonald able to find it through the traffic and make the stop. This first period has already gone by so fast, I believe. We've had some games this morning that were completely undisciplined. There were penalties being called every 20 seconds. It felt never ending there. But we've been treated tonight with a very nice, clean game of hockey. Skill game. Nobody's trying to kill each other. It's very nice. It's now a battle against the boards for possession. Owen Fleming at the point, sending it over to his forward, who sends it in deep for Kellen Fuller. Fuller tries to go wrap around, but Alexis Leblanc, one more time, stands strong and denies him. Face-off one by the Coyotes. Alexis Maillet right on that puck, sending it over to Alex Duguay. Tries to reach his forward. Intercepted by Brody McPherson, who can't unload the shot, as Mathieu Poirier now back on the ice. Passing it over to Alex Duguay. Duguay now sending it over to Simon Galland. But I don't know what happened there. It's like both teams were momentarily confused there by the blue line. But now Olivia Bryan will dump it in. Delayed offside there, gives a few seconds to the Bulldogs. But then the Coyotes, here they come. Simon Galland leaving it for Jonathan Cormier, who plays it in deep. Gabriel Poirier with a huge hit there. As the Bulldogs tried to go to the offensive zone one last time, but the Coyotes getting the better of them on that one. As the Bulldogs dump it into the offensive zone once more. Jonathan Cormier will get there first. Cormier plays it up ahead for Michael Landry. Landry still with it, but the play will be called offside by the Bulldogs blue line with seven seconds left. So it is very likely now that the Coyotes will be heading to the dressing room with a 1-goal lead after one period of play. As you can see here, the final seconds of the period are dying down. So Bulldogs still with a 1-goal deficit, looking to answer to that Coyotes goal. We'll see if that will be the case in the second period. In the meantime, you have 15 minutes if you need to get a snack, if you need to put your dog outside, if you need to go to the bathroom. You got 15 minutes. I will see you back here in, like I said, 15 minutes for the second period of this matchup between the Coyotes and the Bulldogs. Hello everybody and welcome back to the second period of this game between your host Kent Coyotes and the Antigonish Bulldogs. As you can see, the Coyotes, after one period of play, have a 1-goal lead over the Bulldogs. So now we're going to see if the Bulldogs have anything to say about that. Starting off with that really big hit behind the net there, as the puck comes back into Coyotes territory. The Bulldogs now getting set up in the offensive zone. Puck in the corner, comes back to Cohen Pictou at the point. He takes a shot, but it'll bounce off somebody and head back to the neutral zone for Jake Prince. But Gabriel Poirier picks up the loose puck, sending it into the slot for Simon Galland. But another very nice interception there by Cohen Pictou, who sends the puck over to Will McKinnon. McKinnon down low for Pictou. Pictou, who then leaves it for his teammate, number 26, Will Normando. And Normando scores on that shot. Tough angle for him. But Normando, left-handed shot, was able to get a little bit of a better angle there. As you can see, very nice shot, and beats the goaltender Alexis Leblanc right up and over the glove, straight into the top corner. So very nice shot there for Will Normando, as the Bulldogs will win this face-off as well. Owen Fleming leaving the puck against the boards for his teammate, but Michael Landry will take it, try to feed it to Christian McGrath in the slot. Bulldogs taking over, however. Cameron Bell now skating that in, leaving it for his teammate, Helen Fuller, as Christian McGrath picks this up in Coyotes territory. McGrath still trying to get the puck free from the corner, and it seems the Bulldogs will be victorious from that little battle there. Owen Fleming, shot from the point, but it's blocked, as Christian McGrath will pick up the loose puck and feed it to Michael Landry. Landry, who will dump it in, giving the Bulldogs a chance to regroup. Now a long pass for Logan McGrath, leaving it behind for Brony McPherson. McPherson tries to get a centering pass in, but Julien Leblanc gets in his way, sending the puck over to Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin with a shot, but Ryan McDonald makes the stop. Jonathan Cormier now at the point, feeds it to Julien Leblanc. Leblanc with a shot as well. Now Maxime Bourgoin sending it down low for Xander Best behind the net. Jonathan Cormier keeping it alive at the blue line, as Xander Best sends it over to Maxime Bourgoin, who was all alone in front of the crease. Another beautiful stop there by Ryan McDonald. The shot there by Xander Best will come back to Jonathan Cormier. And now it seems we'll be sending somebody else to the box. I'm just not sure who it is. Somebody leaned over and I could not see the action anymore for a second there. But it seems as though it will be a Coyotes power play. They're sending number 28, Owen Forsyth, into the penalty box. So as the game is now tied 1-1, Coyotes get a power play, a chance to take back the lead. But Bulldogs win that face-off and instantly try to blast it out of their zone. But the Coyotes still handing. Julien Leblanc, you saw right there, the big shot. Leblanc back with it, walking in. Leblanc with a shot, but it's going to go wide once again. Jonathan Cormier now handing it over to Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin goes between the legs there. Bourgoin for Julien Leblanc. Takes the one-timer. Rebound's going to go against the boards for Nicolas Beau. But now Kellen Fuller of the Bulldogs finds the puck and dumps it all the way down the ice. As the Coyotes try to get their power play set up once more. But then a very nice heads-up play by Jack McDonald. Sharp there. Pass for Connor Green, who goes in deep. Sends it into the corner where Gabriel Poirier will obtain the puck. Sending it into the slot for Connor Green, who just couldn't get his blade on it. As the puck comes back to the blue line for Jonathan Cormier. Cormier with some space. Tries to go across to Alexis Maillet, but the pass will be intercepted as Connor Green gets the puck into the slot, takes a shot, but it's blocked. As Olivier Brault now, pass for Alexis Maillet. Maillet with a shot, but it'll miss the net and head all the way down the ice and head into the corner where Alexis Maillet will pick it up. Maillet behind his own net, waiting for backup. Sends the puck over to Connor Green, who dumps it in. As we're now back to even strength. Olivier O'Brien there, going back into his own zone, giving his teammates some time to get open. But another interception by the Bulldogs. Alexis Maillet, however, able to clear the puck. As the Bulldogs try to counterattack. Will end up dumping it in. Battle in the corner there for possession of the puck. Centering pass, but very nice play there by Damien Poirier, who was sharp and ready for it. Poirier transitions into the offensive zone, tries leaving it back for Jackson McClure, but it'll be intercepted. McClure is still able to stay on it though and hand it back to Poirier. Poirier, who circles around, takes a shot, but it'll go wide of the net and slide all the way down the ice back into Coyotes territory. As Julien Leblanc will pick it up. Leblanc going around 3 Bulldogs players who are trying to send it over to Brody Brault in the slot. Connor Green now at the point, trying to make some space for himself. But the Bulldogs will manage to clear the puck on that play as they now head on a 2-on-1, but Connor Green, very fast player. Now a nice shot there by Campbell Barrett, who gets taken down right after it by Connor Green, the big defenseman. Cohen picked you with the pass for Jake Prince, who hands it over to Campbell Barrett, who will chip it in. Julien Leblanc now behind the net. Leblanc will shovel it over to Olivier Brault, or rather Brody Brault. But it will come back in Coyotes territory, where the Bulldogs are trying to create a little something offensively. A few quick changes of possession there, but the Bulldogs now in the offensive zone. Julien Leblanc, however, able to clear it. But it will be an icing call against the Coyotes on that one. So a lot of good opportunities on both sides so far. Two teams have been doing a great job at creating space for themselves, skating around, trying to make those pockets of open space, getting a shot lane, and also the passes have been really nice. A lot of passing games, a lot of finesse in the game tonight so far, as the play will get whistled down for a hand pass. But as I was saying, we've been treated to a very clean game of hockey so far. Considering what else I'd seen today, I was not sure it was going to be the case, but I'm very happy to report that this is a beautiful game of hockey we're witnessing tonight, as the Bulldogs will win this face-off a little too cleanly, and head all the way back down to their defensive zone. Zach Stewart now hands it over to Brody McPherson, who tries to reach Tully Grant, but the Coyotes unrelenting, getting in their way. Alexis Maillet tries to get it in deep, but the officials will blow down the play. I believe it might have gone out of play. Face-off won by the Coyotes. But watch out, because here come the Bulldogs. Another turnover, though, in center ice. And another one. And another one. Now it seems as though the Bulldogs might be in control of the play here, as they try to shovel the puck out of their defensive zone. But now the Coyotes getting a hold of it. Olivier O'Brien handing it over to Olivier Breau. But now the Bulldogs counter-attacking. Kellen Fuller trying to get to it. A long pass there for Logan McGrath, but it ends up in the corner. Olivier O'Brien now for the Coyotes. Handing it over to Damien Poirier. The puck spilled over right into Alexis Leblanc's crease, and he wastes no time in covering it up to cause a stoppage of play. The first half of the second period has almost already gone by. This game is going really fast, or it feels that way at least. Getting treated to some very good hockey tonight. Face-off won by the Coyotes, but the Bulldogs quick to get it back. Jake Prince takes a shot from the point. Bulldogs still in possession. Pass in the slot there, but it's gonna miss. A lot of traffic in front of the net, but the Coyotes manage to regain possession in their own end. Alexis Maillet flipping it up in the air. Cohen Pictou, however, manages to get there first, as Pictou dumps it into the corner for Luc Sampson. Now the puck coming back to Simon Galland of the Coyotes, who goes to Mathieu Poirier, his teammate. Puck's going to spill over into the neutral zone, where Galland and Poirier are hounding the Bulldogs players. As now Will McKinnon tries to go around the defender Alex Duguay. Bulldogs still on it. Will Novmodo for McKinnon, who goes to Zach Stewart at the point. Sends it in deep. Bulldogs still controlling the play. Zach Stewart trying to make some space for himself. Sends it down low for his forward. Will Novmodo. Back to Stewart. Stewart with a shot, but it's caught, no problem, by Alexis Leblanc. Face-off won by the Bulldogs. Zach Stewart handing it over to his forward. But Michael Landry, active stick, gets in the way. As the Bulldogs on the attack once more. Owen Forsyth taking a shot, but Alexis Leblanc once again shutting him down. Since that goal he allowed early on in the period, Leblanc has been completely lights out for the Coyotes. But really, So has the goaltender, Brian McDonald, been for the Bulldogs. So it seems as though we're getting another showdown of the goaltenders tonight. It seems as though the entire tournament has been a showdown of the goaltenders. But now here come the Coyotes. Julien Leblanc dumping the puck deep into the offensive zone. Christian McGrath chasing after it. The Bulldogs now gaining possession. Pass for Brody McPherson. McPherson with a shot. It spills over into the corner where Tully Grant is trying to get a hold of it. Julien Leblanc of the Coyotes, however, ribbing that over to Xander Best, who pokes it ahead for Michael Landry. Now Connor Green will dump it. Yeah, Xander Best chases after it, but the Bulldogs managing to dump that into the offensive zone. The Coyotes come crashing back though, as Jonathan Cormier will play that in the corner for Nicolas Book. Book with a shot. It comes back into the corner where we have a little battle there going on. Bulldogs coming into the offensive zone now. Owen Fleming playing it down low, going behind the net. Fleming centering pass, but it'll be caught by the Coyotes. But now Max Baldwin dumping it in for the Bulldogs, as Jonathan Cormier of the Coyotes will pick it up. Cormier with a pass to Nicolas Book. Book will dump it in, but it will be caught by Cohen Pictou, who sends it over to Logan McGrath. McGrath trying to take a shot, but Jonathan Cormier gets back in time to take him out. Cormier now with the big saucer pass over to Jackson McClure. McClure leaving it for Olivier Brault. Brault going behind the net. But the Bulldogs now trying to counterattack. Alexis Maillet with a pass for his defensive partner, Alex Duguay. Duguay who sends it up for Jackson McClure, but it'll come back on the sticks of the Bulldogs. It's Cohen Pictou trying to unload the shot. Gets caught in his skate as Alexis Maillet tries to fend off a Bulldog. Damien Poirier against the boards will, however, lose the puck as Jake Prince there takes a shot. It's blocked. A few quick changes of possession there as the Bulldogs are circling the puck around the zone. But now Olivier Brault catches a break. Brault will dump it in and chase after it, getting to it first. Feeding it back to Jackson McClure. McClure centering pass, but it'll be intercepted by Will McKinnon. McKinnon who will send it over to Will Normando, poking it back to McKinnon. Julien Leblanc now. Long saucer pass for Simon Galland, who goes in an almost breakaway. Galland will, however, lose a grip on the puck. Came so close to being able to poke that back to Mathieu Poirier. Now Gabriel Poirier with a huge shot. Poirier poking it back to Connor Green. Sends it over to Julien Leblanc with a huge slap shot. The puck will hit the goaltender and go way out of play. So what a sequence we saw there. Some good looks there for the Bulldogs. But man, the Coyotes have been unrelenting this period. Already less than 5 minutes remaining. This game is going by in a flash, I'm telling you. Connor Green keeping the puck alive at the blue line for the Coyotes, dumping it down low for Simon Galland, who tries to send it up for Mathieu Poirier. Poirier fighting for it against the boards as the puck comes back to Julien Leblanc. For Gabriel Poirier back to Leblanc. Leblanc takes a shot, but it'll go wide of the net. As Simon Galland still fighting for it. And we'll have a penalty there. as it seems Gabriel Poirier of the Coyotes will be heading to the penalty box. I always find it funny how these guys are so tall, they can just literally walk over the boards and like hop into the bench or something. For me, I'm not the tallest person, so when I was playing and had to jump the boards, it was always like put one leg and then throw yourself over the boards and hope for the best. But either way, Bulldogs power play now, maybe an opportunity to break the tie we have going on here. Owen Fleming now holding the line for Jake Prince. Back to Fleming. Pass for Pictou now. Pictou sending it down low for his forward there. Campbell Barrett. Barrett for Owen Fleming. Fleming finding a shot lane and taking it. It will miss the net, however, as Jonathan Cormier picks it up and sends it all the way down the ice. Bulldogs trying to get their power play set up as we're nearing a minute left of said power play. Owen Fleming losing the puck to Julien Leblanc, who sends it all the way down the ice once more. But it hits something or somebody, and the puck is now out of play. Face off won by the Bulldogs. Their quick shot by Tully Grant. That was the best look of the game so far for the Bulldogs. But it wasn't enough to fool Alexis Leblanc. As now Julien Leblanc goes on a one-on-one, but gets taken down as Mathieu Poirier came close to picking up where Julien Leblanc left off. Bulldogs trying to get organized. 25 seconds of power play left for them. Will McKinnon skates it in and will rim it over to his defenseman, or rather his forward, Tully Grant. Sends it over back to McKinnon for Grant. For McKinnon. But that was rather Owen Forsyth who took a shot there. As we're now back at even strength. Tully Grant with a shot, but it's a huge block there by Connor Green, who's been blocking shots wide open the entire tournament. If there's a stat somewhere for most shots blocked, I'm betting Connor Green has the upper hand on that one. As we have got ourselves a little battle against the boards for possession, the puck will come all the way back into Coyotes territory for Olivier O'Brien. O'Brien making his way into the offensive zone, trying to find Olivier Breau. As the puck comes back to Maxime Bourgoin in the neutral zone. Bourgoin circling back. Still with it. Maxime Bourgoin trying to get around. Big defenseman of the Bulldogs. But now we've got the Bulldogs counter-attacking. As we've got ourselves another battle against the boards for possession, it seems the Coyotes will be victorious this time. Alexis Maillet, pass for Xander Best, who chips it up ahead, but it will be an icing call against the Coyotes, I believe. But no, because Koen Pictou just played the puck here, as you can see. So, oh, now Olivier Breau picking that up, sending it over to Xander Best, who shovels it back into the slot. Now Damien Poirier with a big hit in the corner, giving his team the chance to catch the puck as the Coyotes keep it alive in the offensive zone. Not short-lived, however, as here come the Bulldogs. 25 seconds left in the period. Puck coming back to Zach Stewart. who sends it flying over his team's bench. So clearly out of play then. 15 seconds left in the period. Face-off won by the Bulldogs as they come crashing into the offensive zone. Kellen Fuller there getting a good look, but fanning on the shot. Zach Stewart takes a shot of his own. As Simon Galland catches a break there, but as you can see, period 2 is now over. So the Bulldogs did find the answer to the Coyotes' lone first period goal. They found it pretty early on, actually. And we are now all tied up at 1 after 2 periods of play. Very clean game, very good quality hockey. Very much a treat to watch tonight. So on that note, 15 minutes, you know the drill. If you have something to get done, you've got 15 minutes to do it, and then I will see you back here for the third period of this Coyotes versus Bulldogs showdown. Welcome back, everybody, to the third period of this amazing matchup between the Kent Coyotes and the Antigonish Bulldogs in a fight for who will finish first place in the standings. As you can see, after 2 periods of play, we are now all tied up at 1 apiece. So we will see what this third period has in store for us. As like I said earlier, this game will decide who finishes where in the standings. So if the Bulldogs win, we're getting a 3-way tie situation, which complicates things a little bit. So we'd have a 3-way tie between these two teams on the ice here and the Capstone Colts. But if the Coyotes win, they will secure first place, being the only team who has not lost a game in the preliminary round. Now a shot right there from Jake Prince from the blue line. Now another shot from Ron Normando. I was sure that one was going to get past the goaltender Alexis Leblanc, but he somehow manages to make that stop. Face-off won by the Coyotes this time. Connor Green picks it up behind his own net and sends it flying down the ice, as the Coyotes were actually assessed a penalty on the previous play for high sticking. So we now have a Bulldogs power play. If you were wondering why the Bulldogs were holding on to possession for so long and being so dominant in the offensive zone, well, that was why. But either way, Bulldogs power play for another minute and 38 seconds, as we're still tied up, right? So looking for a tiebreaker. The Bulldogs in their own zone. Jake Prince logging big minutes here for the Bulldogs tonight. Sending it over to Owen Fleming, who's also been a major part of the Bulldogs team tonight. Seeing the ice a lot. Little battle against the boards there for possession, as the puck will spill over into the neutral zone. Owen Fleming with Olivier Berot on his back. The puck will come back to the neutral zone for Jake Prince, who dumps it in. And now Alexis Leblanc, the goaltender, clearing the puck back to the neutral zone, where it will be picked up by Will McKinnon. Handing it to Cohen Pictou. Pictou all alone in the corner, centering it, but Maxime Bourgoin will find it and dump it down the ice. As the Bulldogs try to get organized for the last 30 seconds of their power play. Tully Grant now dumping it in, as Alexis Leblanc will bat that over. The Bulldogs trying to take advantage of the last few seconds of their power play. Pass for Will McKinnon in the corner. He sends it over to Tully Grant at the point. It goes across to Owen Chisholm. McKinnon passed for Tully Grant, but it got caught in his skates, giving the Coyotes an opportunity to dump the puck, as we're now back to even strength. Maxime Bourgoin now picking that up, trying to center it, but it gets caught by Tully Grant of the Bulldogs, who sends it over to Jack McDonald as the Coyotes regain possession. Olivier O'Brien now tries to take a shot, but the shot lane gets blocked, as we have a little battle going on in the corner there for possession of the puck. But the play will be blown down, as it seems we have another penalty coming up. It'll be number 28 again, Owen Forsyth, I believe, who's been a frequent flyer in the penalty box today. Face-off won by the Coyotes, as the puck comes back to Olivier O'Brien. He sends it over to Alexis Maillet, who takes a huge shot. Olivier Berot now staying with it to Connor Green for O'Brien once again. Olivier O'Brien to Alexis Maillet for Olivier Berot. Berot trying to get a shot lane, but it will come onto the stick of Kellen Fuller of the Bulldogs, who clears it all the way down the ice. A long pass now for Connor Green, who walks into the offensive zone. Bulldogs try to clear the puck once more and will succeed, as will McKinnon on a 2-on-1. Short-handed McKinnon trying to lift it over Alexis Leblanc's pad, but he sticks out the glove and makes the save. That was insane. Beautiful save right there. Let's have another look at that. Yeah, you see it coming down, 2-on-1. Oh, sliding it right between the defenders' feet, and now you saw that amazing save right there by the goaltender, Alexis Leblanc. That was gorgeous. That could be on a highlight reel tomorrow morning. Now Maxime Bourgoin in his own zone, taking a spill, as Logan McGrath all alone tries to make something happen, but now Xander Best for the Coyotes, who still have their power play. Julien Leblanc for Nicolas Book, who fans on the shot on the one-timer. The puck back in Book's possession as he sends it over to Julien Leblanc. Leblanc with a shot, but it's blocked as Will McKinnon manages to poke the puck all the way down the ice. Julien Leblanc going to get it for the Coyotes as he drops it back for Simon Galland. Galland circling the neutral zone, looking for passing options. Julien Leblanc now trying to reach his forward, Nicolas Book, but the pass was a little too much to handle as the puck comes back into the defensive zone for the Coyotes. But now Julien Leblanc crossing over into the offensive zone, going around the net. Leblanc looking for options. We're taking a shot, and that manages to get to the net despite all the traffic, as the Coyotes now seem to be getting in the groove. Jackson McClure skips that over to Julien Leblanc, who takes the shot. It'll bounce off his stick and go way up high before ending up in the corner. Now the Bulldogs managed to get a hand on that, as Campbell Barrett walks in, or rather Andrew Murray. Murray putting up a good fight in the corner against two players that look to be a head and a half taller than him. Alexis Maillet now for the Coyotes in his own end, being chased down by Murray. As a turnover happens right there in front of the net. Big shot there by Luc Sampson. Huge hit behind the net. As now Michael Landry and the Coyotes try to counterattack. But here come the Bulldogs. Campbell Barrett chipping that in. Alex Duguay will get to it first as he sends it over to his forwards. Puck will come back to center ice for Jackson McClure. McClure winds into the offensive zone, chasing the puck all the way down to the corner, centering it for Michael Landry, whose stick was tied up by the defender. As now the Bulldogs will dump it in. Jonathan Cormier for Connor Green. Green with a long pass for Michael Landry. It skips over his stick, however, and the Bulldogs are right back there in possession. Owen Chisholm now winding into the offensive zone, but the shot's going to bounce off his stick and head out of play. So a really big push there, as we get to see that ball, right there, intercepted, clean interception. Very nice, alert save there by the Coyotes goaltender, Alexis Leblanc. Now, the Bulldogs get some steady offensive zone time, but it's short-lived as Olivier O'Brien brings it over to Gabriel Poirier, who goes back to O'Brien. O'Brien leaving it for Damien Poirier. Poirier behind the net for O'Brien. O'Brien goes to the point for Gabriel Poirier, who takes a big shot but misses the net. As Julien Leblanc now tracking down the puck in the corner. The Bulldogs taking possession in their own end, flipping it high up in the air. Olivier O'Brien will get to it first before dumping it back in, but it will be an icing call against the Coyotes on this one. Almost half of this third period has already gone by. I can't believe how quickly this game is flying by in front of my eyes. These two teams are playing great tonight. Like I said, we've seen a few games today where a lack of discipline really cost some teams quite a few goals. So it's very nice to see these two teams. So much discipline. We've seen a lot of 5-on-5 plays, a couple nice power plays here and there, but overall it's been a very clean game. As now Damien Poirier takes a shot on the wraparound. Now the Bulldogs trying to go back on offense, but it seems we'll have a penalty on the play. As Gabriel Poirier will head back to the penalty box. Like I was saying earlier, it's so funny to me how these guys can just like hop over the boards like it's like they're jumping over a children's hurdle. I wish. Oh, and it seems we'll be sending a second player from the Coyotes into the box as well. There's no second penalty popping up on the scoreboard as far as I can see, so it's probably just a 10-minute misconduct or something. As that was a very good shot there by Owen Fleming, the defender. Battle against the boards for possession. The Bulldogs will win this one. Coin pick 2. Goes back to Jane Prince with a shot. Another block by Connor Green. My God. That guy is Iron Man. Literally. Now, Coyotes will dump it as we get to see another minute and 15 seconds roughly of Bulldogs power play. Pass for Tully Grant now. Grant, who will, however, have to go back and regain the puck, sending it back to Will McKinnon. McKinnon with a pass, but it's blocked. Rather intercepted by Xander Best. However, all is well that ends well for the Bulldogs as Owen Chisholm now for Will McKinnon. McKinnon with the shot as the Bulldogs fight to find the rebound. Alexis Leblanc, however, swallowed that up on the first bounce. As Owen Forsyth, I believe, will be heading to the penalty box once again. This is what, his third or fourth penalty of the game so far. So, but those little cross checks to the back of the head after the whistle, they'll be called every time. So I was talking about the importance of discipline right there. So we'll see it in action right here as we get 42 seconds of 4-on-4 before heading to a Coyotes power play. As now the Bulldogs will ice the puck right off the face-off. I think the defender got confused there for a second and thought they were on the penalty kill as he just whipped that right down the ice. Face-off won by the Bulldogs, but the Coyotes stripped them of the puck relatively fast as that was a beautiful play for Nicolas Bourque. Can't believe that didn't go in. Ryan McDonald, man, what a save. Let's have another look at that. The diving save to cover that puck like his life depends on it. That was an amazing save right there. Save of the game for sure. Well, it's between that one and the one Alexis Leblanc had just a moment ago. And now we have a 2-on-1, but a very good defensive coverage now by the Coyotes. As we're still 4-on-4 for another 10 seconds. The Bulldogs trying to jam it home. Will come incredibly close as Owen Fleming now with a shot from the point, but through all the traffic, 4 or 5 bodies in front of his net, Alexis Leblanc finding the puck once again. Face-off won by the Coyotes as Alexis Maillet will stand behind his net as the Coyotes power play is now starting. Julien Leblanc receives the puck from his teammate and heads deep into the offensive zone before coming back. Pass for Alex Duguay, who sends it back to Alexis Maillet. Maillet with a shot, and he finds the back of the net. So Alexis Maillet, the defender, with a beautiful shot from the point. Let's have another look at that here. Seeing tic-tac-toe there. Olivier O'Brien does a good job at selling the defender on that one. And yeah, he beats him cleanly right there. So very nice, powerful shot. Alexis Maillet really has a rocket of a shot. And there were a lot of people in front of the net. So it was probably extremely hard for Ryan McDonald to find the puck already, but with a bullet of a shot like that, that makes it even harder. As the puck will now fly over the Coyotes bench as their trainer throws the puck back onto the ice to the referees. Now the Coyotes will win this power play will win this face-off. My God, can't speak anymore. As we're now back at even strength because of that power play goal by Alexis Maillet. Now here come the Bulldogs looking for the equalizer. We have Andrew Murray in the corner, sending it back to the point for Cohen Pictou. But the puck will spill over into the neutral zone where the Coyotes will get a hold of it and send it down the ice. As Alex Duguay goes in deep with Nicolas Beau. Duguay still with it, sending it by the net for Xander Best. As Julien Leblanc gets a hold of that and sends it over to his forward, Xander Best. Best will opt to dump it in, where Brody Bro will chase after it. Connor Green keeping that alive at the blue line, taking a shot. Xander Best now shoveling that back into the corner for Michael Landry, who goes around the net. Landry tries to jam it in the slot, as Michael Landry is getting absolutely hammered into the boards there while trying to fight for the puck. Now a little bit of action behind the play. A little kerfuffle there. A little over 8 minutes left. Stakes are high for this one. Starting to see things heating up a little bit. Oh, so it seems we'll be having a penalty for both sides now. So, still going 4-on-4 for 2 minutes this time. Some pushing and shoving there going on. And both get 2 minutes. So we'll get to see some more 4-on-4 action here. Opens up a lot of space on the ice. So we'll probably get to see some nice offensive opportunities as well. Face-off won by the Bulldogs. Pass for Will Normando. Normando back for Will McKinnon. As McKinnon will head into the offensive zone. Pass for Will Normando with a huge shot. That was an amazing save by Alexis Leblanc, who just saves another one there. Wow. That was beautiful. Alexis Leblanc, my goodness, is having himself a game tonight. He's one of those goalies that, like, when he locks in, nothing is getting past him. You better believe it. Jonathan Cormier now for the Coyotes in his own zone. Cormier looking for backup there as he finds Olivier O'Brien. O'Brien, very fast skater, hands it over to Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin with a shot from far away as the goaltender Ryan McDonald scrambles to find the puck and succeeds. He gave everything into that save. Probably robbing a goal there. Yeah, let's look at that again. See the rebound there. Olivier O'Brien desperately trying to jam it in as Ryan McDonald leaps onto that puck to cover it. The Bulldogs now in possession. Brody McPherson crossing the blue line, but will get stripped of the puck by Nicolas Beau, who circles back into his own zone, dropping it back for Jonathan Cormier. Cormier handing it over to Olivier O'Brien. Back to Cormier for Maxime Bourgoin. Bourgoin heading into the offensive zone, taking a long shot, but it'll spill over into the neutral zone for Jonathan Cormier, who hands it back to Olivier O'Brien. O'Brien drops it back for Alexis Maillet. A long pass now for Mathieu Poirier, who chips it in for Simon Galland. Galland tries to feed Alex Duguay for the one-timer, but it bounces over his stick. Alexis Maillet now behind his own net. As we're now back to 5-on-5. Face-off one there by the Coyotes. Alexis Maillet behind his own net being absolutely chased down by Will McKinnon as he hands it over to Simon Galland. Galland will dump it in, where Ryan McDonald, the goaltender, will play it out for his teammates. Battle in the corner for possession. Seems as though the Coyotes will manage it, but now a 3-on-1 as Normando bogs that in. Alex Duguay, however, sprawling on the ice to cut that passing lane. So, great defensive play there by Alex Duguay, the rookie defenseman for the Coyotes. Julien Leblanc now takes a shot, but now here come the Bulldogs on the counterattack as they'll just dump it in instead. Now Olivier Breau with a lot of speed handing it over to Damien Poirier. Poirier who dumps it in before being taken down. Olivier Breau in the corner now, battling for the puck along with Jackson McClure. As it will spill over to the other corner where the Bulldogs defender will send it high up in the air. Coyotes still controlling the play here. Connor Green tries to dump it in. It's caught by Owen Chisholm, who then dumps it right onto Alexis Leblanc. And now a very, very long pass for Jackson McClure, who beats the icing call. Very fast skater, Jackson McClure. Puck skips over to Olivier O'Brien in the neutral zone, who hands it over to Michael Landry. Landry who will shove it in deep into the offensive zone. Landry causing a turnover right there for his team as Brody Breau goes battling for the puck. Goes to Olivier O'Brien at the point, who takes a shot. As Michael Landry goes to battle once more. Puck will skip over to Max Baldwin. Baldwin who gets neutralized quickly by Olivier O'Brien. O'Brien actually getting the puck, sending it over to his forward, Michael Landry. Landry trying to dump that in, but fans on it. But now another turnover. Xander Best taking a shot, but a nice stop there by Ryan McDonald. As we've gotten a few quick changes of possession here, it seems as though the Bulldogs taking control of the play now. Zach Stewart sending it up for Campbell Barrett, who chips at it. Battle against the boards there for possession as it comes back in front of the Coyotes net for Alexis Maillet. Maillet handing it to Maxime Bourgoin, who goes for Xander Best. Best with a nice move there, trying to go around the sprawled defender, but runs out of room. As the Bulldogs are coming on the counterattack here, but it will be blown down offside at the Coyotes' blue line. 3 minutes left, the Bulldogs still trailing by a goal, as I saw the goaltender there making his way over to the bench. But a face-off in the neutral zone will cause him to go back into his net. Coyotes take possession. Connor Green there for Tristan McGraw. But the Bulldogs now empty net with a sixth player on the ice. Will Normando in the corner, taking it back to Jake Prince at the blue line. Prince battling hard to keep control as it comes back to Campbell Barrett. The Bulldogs still trying to get something going offensively. 2.5 minutes left as Simon Galland tries to get in for the open net. Now the Bulldogs trying again. Normando will dump that in for Brody McPherson. In the corner now. McPherson still with it, sends it over to the point for Owen Fleming. Back to McPherson with a shot, but it's blocked by Connor Green once again as the goaltender Alexis Leblanc lost his helmet there. Very good look there for Brody McPherson as the officials are handing out what seems to be a grocery list of penalties. Let's have another look at that here. So very nice shot as he makes the save. And then, his helmet just fell off his head. I think the strap broke. So good on the officials for blowing that down rather quickly as LeBlanc gets his helmet fixed. Yeah, there we go. Everything seems to be good and solid there with an offensive zone face-off for the Bulldogs. 1 minute and 57 seconds left in this game, unless otherwise. A shot right there by Cohen Pictou. Owen Fleming going in deep there as Alexis Maillet tries sending that puck down. Kellen Fuller now with a really nice shot. A big save there by Alexis Leblanc. Xander Best trying to chip it out, but the Bulldogs still keeping it alive in the offensive zone as the puck comes back to Maxime Bourgoin, who chips it up ahead and will miss the open net by a couple of inches. The Bulldogs not giving up. If I have one word for this team, it's relentless. They don't give up. They never take their foot off the gas pedal. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, as you can see here. As I think the Coyotes goaltender is still having some trouble with his mask. Face-off won by the Coyotes. Alexis Maillet trying to rim that away, but Cohen Pictou keeping it alive at the blue line. Campbell Barrett with the pass to his teammate, Will McKinnon. As the puck comes back to Cohen Pictou, who blocks it from going out. Complete chaos in the offensive zone. A shot there as Brody McPherson gets taken down. Have a delayed penalty now coming up, as I believe we're going to see some 6-on-4 action. So 61 seconds left in this game. Unless we see a goal by the Bulldogs, they get the equalizer, then we'll be going to overtime according to tournament rules. So as you can see here, the Bulldogs calling a timeout. Try to drop some special set play. So I'll be honest with you guys, I was actually brought up as a ringette player growing up. So I've been playing ringette since I was 5 years old, but I switched over to hockey when I started high school, and I've absolutely fallen in love with the game. But one thing that really surprised me was how do hockey players come up with set plays, because you're not guaranteed possession. For those of you who might not know ringette as well, a team always starts with possession of the ring. So it's very different to hockey. So in ringette, when you have possession of the ring to start, you can really get your set play down and make it exactly as you want it to go every time. For hockey, it's a 50-50. You have to win the face-off first. So we'll see if this will go according to the Bulldogs' plan. Face-off won by the Bulldogs as Owen Fleming takes it back to Cohen Pictou. That was an incredible play right there. I believe that's exactly what they drew up. Cohen Pictou left wide open there. Brody McPherson sending it back to his teammate Campbell Barrett. As the Bulldogs still fighting. Nice pass there for Will McKinnon with a big shot, but a nice save by Alexis Leblanc, who is still completely dialed into this game. 36 seconds left. The Bulldogs still pushing the pace. Still going hard at it. These guys are not stopping until that puck hits the back of the net. Face-off there won by the Bulldogs, it seems, as they're trying desperately to bat that puck by the net. A nice save there by Alexis Leblanc. I don't know if he even saw the puck coming. Then a shot that whistles by Connor Green's head. Owen Fleming at the blue line, and the puck will be sent down the ice and hit the post of the open net. Julien Leblanc can't believe he missed that. Mathieu Poirier now sends it flying. 6 seconds left. Well, Will McKinnon looking for a shooting lane as the time winds down, and the Coyotes, the host team, will go undefeated in the preliminary round. All credit to the Bulldogs, however, they put up an incredible fight, pushed it until the last second, getting so close so many times. But my goodness, Alexis Leblanc, what a game, what a goaltender. That was insane. He's the kind of guy you want to trust in a high-pressure situation. The higher the stakes, the better he plays. He's one of those guys. And every time he hits the ice, he never ceases to amaze me. But my God, the Bulldogs, what an effort. They should be extremely proud of the way they played tonight. Just didn't bounce their way, I guess, in the end. But all credit to them for that huge push at the end, incredible effort. You could see just how much they wanted it. So it seems as though we'll have a battle of the provinces tomorrow. But first, we'll hear the Player of the Game awards. Oh yeah, well earned. Will Normando had an amazing game tonight. He seemed to be everywhere on the ice. Yeah, no surprise there as well. He earned it. This is actually Alexis Leblanc's second Player of the Game award. So both games he's played in so far, or both games he's started in so far, he's won the Player of the Game award. And no doubt has he been the best player on the ice tonight for the Coyotes. Amazing performance, stellar performance even by the Coyotes goaltender. So it seems as though we have both of our semifinal matchups set up. So, as I was saying earlier, it seems as though it will be a battle of the provinces. So, if my calculations are correct, and the rumors I've heard through the grapevine are correct as well, we will have the 4 o'clock semifinal will be the Battle of New Brunswick between the Kent Coyotes hosting the tournament and the Southeast Knights, who are representing the province. And then the second semifinal at 7:30 p.m. will be the Battle of Nova Scotia, which we've had the privilege of seeing yesterday, between the Cole Harbour Capstone Colts and the Antigonish Bulldogs. So I really hope you will join us tomorrow. So just be aware that those two matchups I've mentioned could go at either of those semifinals, right? So we're not exactly sure. It's the number one team who gets to choose which semifinal time slot they want. So we will be able to confirm that schedule for you in a little bit. But from what I've heard through the grapevine, this is what I think will happen. But either way, I hope you guys had a great time tonight hanging out with me at the Don Johnson Memorial Cup. I know I had a blast, and I wish you a very great rest of your evening.